Hi, I'm going to show you how to make dosa today, the crispy, yummy Indian crepe. Making dosa requires a little bit of time and planning. You can buy store-bought batter, but it's not the same. And this recipe makes a large batch so you can freeze some of it for use later. So we have rice, urad dal, chana dal, and fenugreek seeds, which give good flavor to the batter and help kill some of the bad bacteria. I'm going to wash all this and soak it for more than 2 hours or perhaps overnight. I'm ready to grind the rice and dal in 2 batches. One half is here. I've drained it completely and I will add just enough water to get the blender going. Here's what the batter looks like. It is nice and thick, almost like pancake. I used about 3/4 cups of water to grind 1/2. The batter is ready. You can see the thickness. And now I'm going to set it aside for fermenting. My oven has a proofing setting, which is at 100 degrees, and it works really well at that temperature. It takes about 24 hours for the batter to be completely ready. If you do not have that option, you can cover this and set it aside in a warm place. Make sure that your bowl has enough room. See how much room my bowl has for the batter to rise, and set it on a plate in case it overflows. It's been 36 hours and the dosa batter has risen nicely at room temperature, about 72 degrees. See how nice and fluffy it is. This is perfect thickness for making idlis. But since I'm going to make dosas, I'm going to add some water to thin it down to make it more spreadable. And I'm also adding some salt and some sugar. So about this much water, and I'll thin it down and let it rest for a few minutes. Let the salt and sugar blend in, and then we'll start making the dosas. Okay, I'm ready to make the dosas. I have 2 skillets heating up here. I have lightly oiled them, and now I'm going to pour the batter, which has been thinned. Ooh, you can feel the sizzle, you hear the sizzle. And then we push from inside out. Keep pushing in circles. And then I am going to smooth it a little bit with a spatula and drizzle a little bit of oil. And as this one cooks, I will pour the next one. So it goes a lot faster when you have 2 skillets going. And the thickness depends on your liking. Some people like thicker dosas, some like them thin. So it's totally up to you. It's just a matter of taste. And then drizzle it with oil. And as this one is cooking, I'm gonna wipe off this batter. You can see that this one is starting to lift. The edges are starting to lift, and it's turning light brown. So we're gonna flip it. It looks nice and golden brown on this side. It's pretty much cooked. And then it'll take another 30 seconds on this side. This one's not ready yet. As you can see, the edges haven't started to lift up yet. And it's done. While this one is still cooking, I think this skillet was hotter than the other one. I'm going to pour this one more time. Some of the store-bought batters have too much rice content, and so the dosa ends up being very brittle. You can see that this other one has brown and the edges are lifting. See, I don't have to do anything. So I'm going to just lift it up and flip it. Again, this one is nicely browned. It takes about a minute and a half, minute to minute and a half, depending on the thickness of your skillet and how hot it has gotten before you start pouring the batter. You can see it's brown on the other side. So I'm gonna flip it, and it's nice and brown. It's ready to eat actually. It doesn't even have to be cooked on the other side. I'm just doing a little bit because I like mine extra crispy. So this one is done. See how nice golden on this side, golden brown on each side. And it's not too brittle. When you bend it, it still folds and doesn't fall apart because of the higher dal content. All right, dosas are ready and it's time to eat. Look how beautiful it is. I have the potatoes made, potatoes and peas. And I added some peanuts to it. And I have the tomato onion chutney, the South Indian style chutney. And I'm gonna roll this up. It's so crunchy. And yet it doesn't fall apart because in my batter, the rice to dal ratio is lower than the store-bought batter. Rice tends to fall apart, so it's not broken. And still, it's pretty thin dosa. The chutney here is spicy, tangy, so it goes really well with this whole combination. I can eat dosa for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's such a versatile, such a healthy food. Try it.